The first card you have, your past, is Judgment. So yeah, I'm feeling very heavy when I look at this. There's a lot of heaviness around this. Usually it's like, wake up, let's move to something big and positive and move on and out with the old, in with the new and all of that. To me, with this card, I'm seeing it is a wake-up call with this beautiful angel blowing this trumpet. I think you're going through this time of a lot of heaviness. I think you're very, very busy. You're probably a bit exhausted. And then you got to this point where you just said to yourself, you know, I can't keep going. I can't keep going the way I'm going. I have to do something completely different. This is not working. If I keep on going like this, I'm going to burn myself out and it's going to be a disaster. So I think before this revelation happened, when you realized you had to change, you know, you're just so tired, you're just run down. I think, you know, I think this has probably been building quite slowly over time. So sometimes these things build up and you don't notice they're happening, and then you turn around and you realize that's been sneaking up on you. And I think you tried to keep going, you tried to do lots of things, but it got to the point where you just couldn't anymore. And I think it's mainly around work. I think you had overworked yourself, you know, business, career, all of that. But I think that was seeping over into other areas of your life. So you were kind of tired, snappy. Maybe you're hitting your alarm a lot of times, you know, hitting the snooze over and over again. Just, you know, not much enthusiasm. You're just overtired. And I don't know if you have a job where, you know, you have to be up all the time, but I'm seeing that. It was this extra pressure. Maybe you teach, maybe it's something like that. Doesn't have to be traditional teaching, something like that where you're with people, interacting with people. So it was like you had to keep up this kind of facade of enthusiasm. You might be in a shop or something like that, I don't know. But you had to keep up this kind of, hello, how are you? Yes, I'm so happy today. Everything's great. I'm really enthusiastic. And actually you weren't feeling like that. So when you have to do that, it can feel even more exhausting than usual, because you're kind of having to kind of act as well. And not that you had to be fake or whatever, but it was like you have to, if you're in a job where you have to be like that, you just have to. You know, you can't, if you're facing customers or whatever, or if you're a teacher, you can't roll up and stand up in front of a class and kind of go, hello, I'm not in a good mood today. Like, you can't be like that. You can't, you know. So, you know, that put this extra kind of layer of pressure on you. So yeah, it was definitely time to change things. This card can be about total overhauls and all of that. But you couldn't do that at this time. It wasn't like you could just get up and leave your work and walk off. I mean, loads of people would love to do that every single day. You couldn't do that. So I think you had to make, for the time being, I think you had to make some little changes. I think they're important changes though, small things that kind of were going to make a big difference to you. So if this is resonating, I think if you haven't made these changes yet, or if you're still thinking about this, I think you're probably going to have a little bit of breathing space before you start doing that. You know, see if you can take some time out, even if it's just a day. Stand back, think about all of this really carefully, because these are significant changes. It's like they're going to set you up for what happens probably in the next year, maybe even more. So go about this carefully, because I think once you've made some of these decisions, it's going to be hard to go back on them. So if this is resonating, take some time out, really get a clear head. And I know you can't do that when you're still in this job, running around doing what you're doing. So if you can take some time off, if you can take the weekend off, or just over the weekend, just clear your head, meditate if you need to, get your head clear before you make these changes. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have, your past, is Temperance. So yeah, again, Temperance can be about rising up out of an old situation into a better one. And it's about working on this yourself. It's not about some magical process that happens. You're working on this, making this happen. You know, the angel's putting this work in. You can see that. So, and he's concentrating. So, you know, I'm just looking at this Judgment card again. I think you might have had another kind of wake-up call as well. I think someone really disappointed you. I think you're around someone quite a lot and you're kind of going along and you thought everything was fine. And then this person said something that really, really disappointed you. You know, and I think this all happened probably when you're right in the depths of this kind of stress and this busyness of what I was seeing going on in the Judgment card. Yeah, they really hurt you. That's what I'm seeing. And I don't think they realised how serious this was for you. Yeah, it was definitely something they said. And I think they might have said this without thinking, and it really, really got to you. It was quite personal. Part of why this hit you so hard was the timing, I think. You know, you were just really stressed, you were very emotional and very exhausted, very, you know, everything else that comes with that. And so you were extra sensitive when they did say that. But that doesn't mean, I'm not saying, oh, well, you're just sensitive, it was fine what they said and you're just being sensitive. No, that's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. They were definitely in the wrong. They shouldn't have said what they said, but I think the stress added an extra layer of sensitivity to this. So I think you were affected a lot more than you normally would have been. But I think you're starting to heal from this now. You know, you're just starting to feel, I think you're still feeling a bit hurt about this actually, but you're starting to get through this. You're kind of working through this. The other thing I'm seeing around this person who said this thing to you is they can dish it out, but they can't receive it, if that makes sense. It sounds bad, but they're quite sensitive as well themselves. So, you know, if anyone's saying anything to them, they're really upset and they're really offended and whatever else. But they do similar or even worse to other people and they don't see that themselves. So they're kind of oblivious to what they're actually like themselves. So, you know, the Judgment card, just looking at that again, it can be about examining yourself, seeing yourself for who you truly are, seeing your faults. And, you know, there's a family in this card and there's a family opposite them. So it's kind of a mirror image. So when you look in the mirror, you examine yourself. And that's what this person needs to do. I know this isn't their reading, it's your reading, but yeah, they need to look at themselves. They need to examine themselves. And I think the problem with really, really super sensitive people who are like that and kind of volatile people as well, if someone tells them, if someone says to them, you know, you really need to take a look at yourself, you're very sensitive what other people have to say to you, but you're really nasty to other people. So you really have to think about what you're like. If you say that to someone as a friend, which if you're a good friend, you should be honest with them. Wow, they would go crazy and they probably wouldn't talk to you. And so it's very hard to say something like that to someone like that. I know that. But yeah, they should have been examining themselves. They should really see themselves for who they are. So I won't go on about them. This is about you. So the last card you have your past is the Page of Swords. Okay, so I think you did distance yourself from this person. I think you're probably in two minds as to whether you're going to let them into your life again or what you're going to do. You're kind of at this stage where you distance yourself from this person. You didn't know whether you were going to kind of move on from them, not see them anymore, or whether you're going to let them back in. You were just kind of at this point where you just didn't quite know. I don't think you'd said what you were going to do just because you weren't sure what you were going to do at this time. I think they were feeling the distance between you. They really were feeling that distance. And I don't think they were trying to contact you or anything, but I think they were definitely watching you, probably on social media. If you have social media, not everyone does. I often say in these readings, oh, well, this has probably happened on social media. And people say, I don't have social media. Well, they're either watching you on social media or they were hearing things about you, you know, trying to talk to people about you. It's like they were trying to find things out about you outside of asking you or talking to you. So that's what that means. You know, really, they should have just come to you and said to you, if there's something wrong, please tell me what it is. Let me apologize or at least explain or something. I just think people need to be upfront with other people. weren't like that. And I also think what I'm seeing here, which is interesting, is that you're very intuitive, and you're especially intuitive at this time. I think, you know, you can feel when people are around you, you can feel when someone's behind you, even if they're far away from you. So you could feel this, you could feel that they were watching you, thinking about you, probably talking to other people about you at this time, but they really should have been talking to you. So maybe they're a little bit afraid because, you know, don't be angry, but you can be a little bit scary sometimes. You can be a little bit opinionated. But really there's no excuse for them not coming forward. They knew they hurt you. You know, whether you're scary, whether you're not, whatever you're like, if they've hurt you, and they know they have, I can see that. If you have hurt someone, or if they have hurt you, they should come and talk to you about it, and they weren't doing that. And it was very, very personal. It was something that hurt you a lot. That's what I'm seeing. So yeah, it was still unresolved at this time. So, okay, so the first card you have here present is the Magician. This is a fantastic card. I love this card. So, okay, so I was seeing a little bit of this in the Page of Swords, and I'm seeing it very, very strongly here now in the Magician. So you have this really, really, really very, very, very sharp intuition at this time, and that's what I'm seeing. It's very, 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 very strong. You probably noticed this. You probably have noticed this. You can feel people's energy. You can feel the energy in a room, whether it's light, heavy, what's been going on. I think these feelings are going to be way, way, way stronger for you at this time. So this is the time for you to use this to your advantage. You know, things like you'll know who to be around, you'll know who to avoid, you'll know what to say at the right time, you'll know what to ask at the right time. You might even be able to sense what people are thinking, what they're about to say, not word for word, but you'll sort of be able to sense, you know, things like whether they're going to say yes or no to you. You'll be able to feel it. I hope this doesn't sound too strange, but, you know, this is what I'm seeing here. So, okay, so there's someone around you, and I think this is a love connection, or it might be someone you're just talking to. I think it probably is very, very early days, because I'm getting this, that you want to ask someone the truth about something, or you want to find out the truth about something from this person. Now, if this was someone who you're in a kind of a more established relationship with, I think you'd probably come out and ask them, you know, because you're a very straightforward person. So this is indicating to me that this is someone that you're either just starting to talk to, or it's very early on in the relationship, or you might have a crush on them even. It might be that. You want to ask them something, but you don't want to come out and ask them. So when you're in this kind of mode of having very sharp intuition, I know this is going to sound really tricky, and I don't mean to be tricky, but the Magician's tricky, so that's my excuse. I'll use that. If you're around this person, go around this person and just bring the subject up. Don't say, please tell me the answer to this. Just talk about the subject in a kind of a neutral way. So, for example, I know it's probably not about this. Just say, if you want to talk about a book, you say, so something about books, you know, and then if you look at them, they'll give you that sign that, you know, whether that's true or not, or whether that's right or wrong or what. So obviously it's not about a book, it's about some thing that you want to be revealed, that you'd love to know, and you don't want to come out and ask them. So if this is resonating with you, if you do have this thing you'd like to know, this is the time to do that. This is the time to be a little bit tricky. You're not hurting anyone, so don't be mad at me, please, in the comments. Don't say, oh, you're evil. It's quite harmless. So, excuse me. So just do that. Talk about the subject in a kind of a way that's kind of not threatening. It's just kind of bring it up naturally. Don't just talk about it in, you know, out of nowhere. And I think if you look at them, listen to them, you'll be able to sense what the answer to that is. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope you try it, and I hope you tell me what happens if this resonates with you. So, excuse me, that's the first card. That's the first time I've ever kind of seen something like that, and that's the first card. Keep on saying card, because I always say the first card, the second card. Yeah, that's the first time I've kind of suggested a trick. So, okay, so the next card you have for your present is the Empress. Don't be mad at me. I think someone might be coming back to communicate with you. Now, this isn't a love connection. This is a relative, I think. This is a family member. I think there was a big falling out at some time between your family and this person. But I actually think there was a separate falling out between you, particularly, and this person. So there are layers of this. There are layers of this around this, and it's quite stressful. So you've had a very up and down relationship with this person. They're another kind of a sensitive type of person, a very testy person. You have these kinds of people around you at this time. So this is another one. And yeah, I think what's going to happen is they're going to come back, if they haven't already. This is in the present. And you're going to take this very slowly when they connect again. Very, very, very slowly. You might not even speak to them at all early on. So, because there's a lot of stress around this, I'm feeling this quite deeply. I know the Empress isn't a stressful card, but I think one of the reasons why this is so stressful is because you do care about them, and there's a lot of care in the Empress. You know, she's like the mother, she takes care of everyone. So you do care about this person, and that's a part of what makes it so stressful for you. So on the one hand, you're not happy with them, you're not happy with things that they've done and whatever, but on the other hand, you still care about them. So yeah, just take your time with this, follow your own instincts on this. I think there might be some other relatives who might want to make you hurry up on this, and yeah, I am seeing one person who wants to do this. I'm seeing someone who's kind of like, oh, let's all be one big happy family again, and let's all get together and have dinner out, and you're just like, no, I'm not ready for that yet. That's how I'm seeing this. You take your time. I think this person needs to earn your trust, just like this person in the Temperance card. They need to earn your trust. You can't just, these people can't just expect to snap their fingers and have you running back to them. It doesn't happen like that. Certainly not with you. You know, you're earth, you're stable. You don't just jump up and down to everyone's tune. No. So, and I think in both of these cases, these were both quite serious things as far as your feelings went. So no, you take your time and you work yourself out in your time. You decide what you want to do. So the last card you have your presence, the Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, this is sort of reflecting what I was seeing in the Judgment card. You know, you're rearranging things to make life easier for you. It was a lot deeper than that, because I think you're bordering on burnout. It was quite serious for you. But yeah, anyway, what I did see there briefly was you thinking about branching out on your own. And if that resonates with you, I think this would be the perfect time for you to start planning that, working your way toward that. If you look at this man on this card and you look at his apron, oh, you can't see it, I'll move it up so you can see. So, you know, if you look at that, what I'm seeing in his apron is, it's tied at the back with these little bows. And to me, they look a little bit like butterflies. And butterflies represent freedom, you know, coming out of a cocoon and flying away into freedom. So there's work, you're working and working and working, you're probably in your little cocoon. And after a while, it's going to be time for you to burst out of that and fly away into freedom. So yeah, now's the time to plan this. If this is what you want to do, you have this card, you have the Empress, which can be about abundance, you have Temperance, and you have the big one, you have the Magician. So it's time to start this. And if you start this, if you keep on going down this road, it will be very positive. It'll be very good for you. You'll probably be able to make a full-time living out of this, working on your own or this business or something. It's going to be very, very, very good for you. Again, I'm not saying leave your job today, because I don't think you can do that anyway. But start planning this now. You know, stay in your cocoon for a while, keep on working along, and then you'll know when it's time to get out. And that's what I'm seeing in that card. So I hope that does resonate with you.